Testing 1, 2, 3. Go Birds. Go Birds.
Who did Song of Solid? He gave him his window, right?
It's split at 50-50.
Yeah, right.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Thank you.
The gate was 3.84 million. We broke the record again for North American Fight Night gates. Sold out. Attendance was 18,287. Fight of the night was Minifield and Walker. Performance of the nights were Jean Silva and Ricky Simone. They all won $50,000.
Start off with the main event. Obviously not the way you want to see any fight end. Did you know, as Henry's getting to minute 4, minute 5 with the eye poke, that he's probably not going to be able to continue?
Yeah.
Do you think he was kind of like gaming the 5 minutes to see if it would come back, or do you think he was just desperate to continue? What do you think of his decision-making in the moment?
I have no idea. I'll let him answer all those questions. Song looked good. And, only he can answer those questions.
It was a good
I
competitive.
don't know if he thought, if I stop here, is this a DQ and no contest, or I don't know what he was thinking, or maybe he can't see.
Before the fight, it was competitive. Song did look good. I think both of them had their moments. What did you think of the fight before the doctor had to stop?
Listen, the card was incredible. The entire card was incredible.
Give us your thought. You gave him a bonus, but Ricky Simone's knockout at the beginning of the night was unbelievable. One of the best performances you saw this night.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys have sat through this a million times, but there's this thing that I call the curse of the prelims. When the prelims are incredible, the main card sucks. So
we were all saying that.
Thank you, Seattle, for breaking the curse.
I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, you had a big week at the UFC. Some crazy stuff went down. With Ilia moving up to lightweight, vacating the title. You weren't able to announce it then, but is it safe to say that Ilia Islam is the fight that we're sort of working towards, or could he be fighting?
There's still other possibilities. So there's a lot of shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said.
Did he vacate the belt, or did you guys say, if you're moving to lightweight, then we don't want to hold up the featherweight division?
No, he did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Diego Lopez said in an interview that the UFC are going to try and sort of stop double champs from happening in the future. So if this case happened, you would have asked Ilia to give up the belt. I don't know if that's a rule, but is that something you'd rather see guys actually vacate rather than try and do both at the same time?
Unless you think you can, defend your title. Listen, if there's a guy that thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it. But you're going to be busy.
Did you think he had more work to do at featherweight? Were you okay with his move, or did you think,
I think that he felt he had done everything with the guys that he beat. If you look at who he beat and how he beat them, right? And I don't think he loved making that weight anymore.
And then just talk to us about how Bilal ends up fighting Jack Della Maddalena, how you had to reshuffle all that, and your thoughts on that fight coming up.
Good, yeah. No, listen, a lot of shit happens behind the scenes, man. A lot of bullshit that we got to deal with, but that's the business. So whoever is next in line gets the title or the shot or whatever it might be. There's so many times that we've had people to fall out, the night of. I mean, we've had lots of crazy shit happen, but it all worked out, and it usually does.
Just getting back to the main event, obviously Henry and Song seem like they want to have the rematch. Is that kind of what you're thinking, that they should run that one back? Or
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Why is that?
I just don't want to see it again.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I thought it was a good fight leading up.
You want to see it again? We should probably do it in a couple months.
Well, it depends on the eye, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, we got your answer on that. Seattle was great this week. It really seemed like the fans were into it. You heard the crowd tonight, even at the weigh-ins. Vancouver, you guys go there too. What is it about the Pacific Northwest?
Let me tell you what, this city, I haven't been in this city. I've been talking about this city all day. I haven't been here in 10 years, and I forgot. Let me tell you what, America. Seattle is an awesome city. The people here are amazing. We were walking around, down in the market area today. Lots of different people from everywhere. And raining, nobody gives a shit. And it's just the shops that they have here, the boutiques, the restaurants, the hotels. I forgot how awesome Seattle is. And then the crowd. I mean, the crowd couldn't have been any better. I'm so glad I came to this fight, and I'm so glad we came back to Seattle.
Do you think this will be an annual destination, not Seattle necessarily, but maybe Vancouver, Seattle? Because it does seem like even in Vancouver, too, the crowds are really good.
Are you from Vancouver?
I am.
I figured. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I'm in Seattle right now, and I couldn't. Well, literally, me and my whole crew have been talking about Seattle all day. It's this place is awesome, and we will not wait 10 years to come back here.
Okay, talking about some of the fight announcements, we obviously had Valentina and Manon. Weili Zhang got that big win a few weeks ago. A lot of people would like to see her move up. Would you like to see her fight the winner of that title fight in Montreal, the co-main event?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and just one more for me here. Obviously, Dustin Poirier is a name that we're hearing might have a fight booked here pretty soon. I know he's getting towards the end of his career. Any update on when we might see his fight book? Because I think a lot of fans are chomping at the bit to see him fight again.
I agree. There has been a lot of talk, and yes, we are working on a fight for him. Yes.
Just two here, Dana.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey there. Regarding the super fights and the champ stuff, I feel like in the past there had maybe been more eagerness or enthusiasm about booking these super fights, whereas now, like when we even talk about Alex Pereira moving up or Dricus, you seem to want these guys to focus on their divisions. Has there been any sort of philosophical change in the matchmaking process about keeping guys in their divisions?
I mean, yeah, unless you've really wiped out a division and like John Jones, who was in lightweight forever and then moved up to heavyweight. Ilia, I get it. It makes sense, when I, like I said, who he's beat and how he beat him, and now he's tired of making weight and wants to move up to 50. Totally makes sense. But no, I'm definitely Weili Zhang that just asked me. She's accomplished just about everything you can accomplish in her weight division, and I don't have a problem with it, But I haven't. The philosophy hasn't changed. It's just on a case-by-case basis.
And then I saw a headline going around an interview Dan Hooker did with Submission Radio where he seemed to suggest that Justin Gaethje had asked for and been granted a 3-round fight instead of a 5-round fight. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Dana, over here. Obviously, eye pokes have been a problem for many, many years. You tried to solve them with new gloves, and they're going to be in the sport. But like a significant eye poke like that, do you believe a point should have been taken?
If you thought it was intentional, if you thought he intentionally poked him in the eye, do you believe it was intentional? Yes. Why would he poke him in the eye? He was doing pretty well. If he was getting his ass whooped and poked him in the eye, you could probably make the argument. But you're not sure it wasn't intentional.
No, it didn't.
What's your last name? Cejudo? Jimmy Cejudo over here thinks it was an intentional eye poke.
It didn't seem it. No, yeah, I get your point, but it was fight altering, right? So,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, eye pokes are never good, but like you said, they happen a lot, and fights do continue after eye pokes. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look and see how many fights were actually stopped due to an eye poke. Not many.
Right. Fluffy Hernandez picks up a big win. Seems like he's getting up there, man, to a top contender. What did you think of his performance?
Who did you say?
Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah. I was surprised with that fight at how big the odds were. You know what I mean? That he was that much of a favorite in the fight. And when the fight started, Allen looked like the odds makers were very wrong, but it flipped and turned around, and yeah, he won a big fight tonight, beating Allen.
John Silva. It seems like you guys have like a superstar in the making with this guy. He's just kind of a madman.
Definitely a madman.
What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's fascinating. That's for sure. Sean Shelby is a big believer in him and thinks very highly of him. So
Does that mean that maybe he gets like a top 15?
listen, when the matchmakers love you like Sean Shelby loves him, it's never a bad thing.
He did call out Bryce Mitchell. Do you like that fight?
I bet there's a lot of people that do. I don't know. We'll see.
And then on the prelims, Austin Vanderfort's opponent pushed him after the fight.
Yeah.
I just kind of want your thoughts on that. And also, obviously, Paul Daly got banned so many years ago. Has policy changed like that? Or
Paul Daly punched Koscheck in the face. Listen, yeah, it's never good when you go over it. But, you know, I don't know why he went after him. I understand he was upset with the referee. And when you watch that fight, if you look, I get why he was upset. He was blocking a lot of the shots. He was blocking. He was still trying to get out of there. And as soon as the fight was over, listen, if a guy is taking a number of just unanswered shots and he's laying there on the ground, he was defending and moving around. And so I understand why he's upset. But, yeah, listen, you know how we are here. He went over and pushed the guy. What should we do? What Paul Daly did was completely different. You just had you had 3 5-minute rounds to punch this guy in the face, and you couldn't. So you're going to go over and punch him in the face after the fight when he doesn't expect it? That's why that was done. He went over and pushed him. We aren't those guys.
But with that being said, you know, if a fighter does get physical after a fight, is that something that you can still lose your job over?
You should see what goes on back here after the fights. You guys would fucking be crying forever if you knew what went on. Be writing fucking all kinds of stories and what are you going to do to them? And believe me, that was nothing.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Dana White over here. Dana, going back to Anthony Hernandez, obviously he's on a great win streak. You have Nasruddin coming off a big win. Jared Cannonier won the main event last week. When you have a division that's so hot right now like middleweight, can you just let us know what are those talks like on Tuesday about how you even match up all of these guys who have cases to get towards a title fight?
What do we talk about on Tuesday about what is your question?
Like all these top middleweights, they're all in big fights. Guys are looking great. Guys are on win streaks. How do you begin those conversations about how you even move these guys toward the belt?
It's a good problem to have. So when we get in the room and we got these guys that are all, you know, popping and doing great, and now it's just a matter of timing, who's hurt, where are we going? You know, there's a lot of different factors that play into who's going to fight next and where, and yeah, it's not just. There's a lot of things that go into the matchmaking other than just, you know, who's on fire or whatever.
You've seen a lot of teams have these dominant moments, right? American Top Team has had great moments, a.k.a. Going back to John Silva and the Fighting Nerds, I mean, you got Carlos Prates, his teammate Caio Borraio. Just what do you think about the moment that whole team is having right now in the UFC?
Huge. And I will tell you this, Prates is a guy that we talk about every Tuesday. Every Tuesday we talk about him.
Do you have a fight for him that you could break the news for us?
No, but we're
lovely city of
working on it.
Seattle?
We talk about him every single. We talk about that guy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's been talked about a lot lately.
And then finally, just want to ask the signing of Patricio Pitbull for the fight against Yair. Obviously, you know, you had talked about it, that it might be in the works. Essentially, what got the deal done to bring Patricio Pitbull into the UFC?
A phone call.
With who?
Him.
Love it.
Dana over here. I kind of want to springboard off of that with Patricio because I feel like there's a lot of parallels with him and Michael Chandler when he came in, kind of older established guy, Bellator legend, all these things. Do you think because of the age and where he's at in his career and, you know, fighting a guy like Yair on the same card as the featherweight title fight, is he more capable of getting a title shot quicker because of maybe not so much time left, or how do you kind of view that whole aspect?
I think that obviously he's going to get the opportunity now to come in here and challenge himself against the best in the world, and no matter where he's at in his career, beating Yair is a big deal. So he comes in and he beats Yair. I don't know. We'll see. Again, like I said before, we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But massive opportunity for him, and we're excited to give him it.
Is that fight kind of, unofficial backup just in case of emergency because it's on there? If you needed the guy.
I hate talking about backups. I hope not.
And just kind of in that same vein, too, another guy who was on the market, Aaron Pico, same division. Has there been any progress with him?
I was telling you, Sean Shelby loves Silva. That guy loves Aaron Pico. So when these guys love you as much as they do, I think good things are probably going to happen.
And just as we're getting back in the Pacific Northwest here, you still owe Portland, Oregon a show, too. Is there any chance of getting back to Portland?
Yeah. Listen, we want to go everywhere we haven't been in a long time. And this just proved that, we got to get back to I can't tell you enough about my experience. I was here for one night and one day, and my experience in Seattle has been incredible. The place is so great. And, yes, the answer is yes.
And I guess the last one for me, actually. In terms of the Bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley looking likely to rematch Merab, right? And we just got the Sandhagen announcement, too. I'm kind of curious how that matchmaking came to be. Was the idea always, again, I don't think the O'Malley one is official yet, right? But we're leaning towards that. How did we get there with so many different options? I think for Sean O'Malley, we could have done maybe an Aldo possibility. There's, especially with him, so many options. How did the Bantamweight division shake?
They want to fight each other. I think people want to see it. Good? Seriously? Thank you, Seattle. What a great experience.
Congratulations on the win. I know it was a hard fought. You mentioned after the fight that you were on some antibiotics. Like, how serious were things leading into the fight?
Let's just say I got off amoxicillin Friday.
Okay.
So I felt like shit, and then I'm not gonna lie, I messed up my ribs 2 weeks ago. So my ribs were fucked before, and it was just like, thank God for the PI. They were here and they helped me every fucking day. We got it to be good enough for the fight, and went out there and made it happen. So, yeah.
And we can ask you now, obviously, because you won the fight, but I know it looked like a tough weight cut yesterday. Was that, that looked like that was the case.
Dude, the fucking pills, the amoxicillin was holding weight. I talked to the PI people too, and they said the same thing, that when you're on antibiotics, it's very hard to cut weight. So while my body was trying to recover, I'm trying to fucking deplete it. You know what I mean? So it was just a nightmare, but I'm pretty fucking tough between the ears and made it happen.
Was there ever a point you thought you might pull out of this fight?
Nah, I mean, like, the first time I fought him, honestly, I was fucking just jogging for the fight because I was hurt, too. I didn't want to pull out just because I wanted to make a fucking statement. I needed that number 9 spot. I've been stuck at, like, was it 13, 14 forever, it feels like. So I planned on coming here. I plan on coming no matter what to fight.
What was the game plan going into the fight?
Beat his ass. It was pretty much the same as last time. I knew that he had really good fast kicks, and it was stay in his face and break him, and that's what I did.
What about like him since the first fight? What was there anything that surprised you in terms of how he looked? No,
okay. He's still fucking really fucking good, tough motherfucker. You know what I mean? He's exactly who I thought he was gonna be, who the coaches thought he was gonna be. My hat's off to Brennan Allen. I got so much love for the guy. And I told him, I'm like, bro, can we quit fucking fighting? And if we're going to fight again, hopefully it's for a fucking belt. Like, you know what I mean? Because I really do like the guy.
Any worries going to the scorecards? Because it was a pretty close fight.
I knew he had the first. The second was, I think I had the second. And then the third, it was like, you have to win this. And I was like, all right. And I fell off. And then he fell off. And I was like, I stayed on top. And I was like, well, try to finish big. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I never know when it goes to the judges. You know what I mean? You never know what the fuck who's watching what.
Just last one for me. There were a few, hometown fighters on this card, but you got one of the biggest receptions, and I was seeing fans everywhere, even at the weigh-ins yesterday. What does that say about your support sort of going into this fight? Like, everyone seemed to be here for you.
Man, I've had so many people out here from just the town I'm from. There's like at least 100 motherfuckers waiting for me to come out tonight. So it was absolute blessing, man. There's so many people that like are starting to believe in me, and it's just a blessing to have and see. You know what I mean?
Hey, Anthony.
Hello.
So I counted 4 reversals in the first 2 rounds. How was that grappling from your perspective? Did he surprise you with anything, or was it kind of similar to the first fight?
Similar to the first fight. Yeah.
And in that first round, I believe you threw a head kick, or he threw a head kick, you caught it, and he tried to take your back off that head kick. I've never seen that before. Did that surprise you?
He's a motherfucker. No, it didn't surprise me because the first time he fucking took my back like that was some weird ass shit on the cage when I was trying to like wrestle him. He like spider monkeyed around. So I knew what he had. You know what I mean? He's really fucking good. I mean, he's number 9 for a reason. Or he was number 9 for a reason. You know what I mean?
And now I guess you're officially a top 10 guy, I would say, most likely. Any names that catch your eye in the top 10?
Honestly, I really don't give a fuck. Give me someone who's going to prove that I'm ready for a title shot. Anyone from 5 up, I would love to fight.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Fluffy. It seemed like in that third round he hit you with something, and like you kind of like were blocking. Like, was it like a punch to the eye or something? Like, do you remember?
That shit went right in my eye socket, and they fucking stopped. When I hit him with the jab in the eye, they stopped it. When he hit me in the eye, they didn't stop it. I was like, you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It was just like, whatever. I figure it out, back up, try to like see again. And if he does get close enough, hit that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that shit sucked.
Were you surprised he wasn't trying to strike with you more, and he just wanted to keep engaging with you with wrestling?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of how like he's kind of like he falls into the like a pattern. You know what I mean? Like he will try to beat you out. He's very well rounded, so he will try to beat you at your game, kind of. And that's kind of like what happened. And plus, when I'm coming forward, it's kind of hard to kickbox.
I just wanted to go back to Friday real quick. The weigh-ins, obviously at the last minute. Was it ever touch and go? Like, man, I might miss at that point because you did take it to the wire.
Yeah, no, it was fucking sketchy, man. I was I was freaking out for a second. I'm not gonna lie. But we fucking managed to do it. You know what I mean? Had to weigh in naked, but fuck it. It is what it is. I was on antibiotics. I mean, there's really like everything that could have went wrong, and we still managed to fucking gangster it out. So it is what it is.
Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Over here, Fluffy. The fight was very competitive, especially compared to, let's say, your fight against Michel Pereira. Do you think that is more indicative of the quality of guys you're beginning to fight, or maybe how depleted you were coming into the fight?
I don't want to take away like saying I was depleted just because he is very good. You know what I mean? I don't know. It is what it is. He's a very well-rounded fighter. My hats are always off to Brandon Allen. You know what I mean? I don't want to take anything away from anyone. I'm sure he felt like shit too. But I was the bigger dog today.
I feel like that answer segues nicely into this next one. You're right. I saw so many people in fluffy T-shirts everywhere I walked today. I would describe you as a very normal and grounded person relative to a lot of fighters. Is that at all surreal to see the sort of support that you're getting right now?
And it's fucking awesome. It's like everything I've ever believed in, people are starting to see. You know what I mean? I've always believed in myself, and now people are starting to believe in me too. And it's very fucking touching. It's a blessing.
We talked earlier in the week, and you mentioned already here tonight that, you know, you were a little annoyed this week and coming into this of being stuck in 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the top 10 when the rankings update. What's that mean to you now?
Man, it's a blessing, but at the same time, I'm still not happy because the only thing I want is the damn belt, man. The fucking, all this other shit doesn't really matter to me. It's like, all right, cool, we did it, but I expected to do this, so now it's just like I was telling the coaches, back to work on Monday. I'll be in the gym. We're back to studying, be back to lifting, back to everything.
For a dude that doesn't like wrestling and didn't like wrestling initially, you now have the record for the most takedowns in the middleweight division. Do we have to admit that we really like wrestling now?
No, I still don't. But but my coaches make it very fun, and they've helped me a lot. Nah, honestly, it kind of it warms my heart a little bit because my dad was a wrestler, so it just comes back to that. You know what I mean? It's a fucking blessing that I'm getting noticed for great wrestling when I didn't. I wrestled for in school. I got kicked off for grades, maybe half a semester in wrestling, and then I have fucking amazing coaches that have been helping me, doing a lot of privates and just cleaning up areas, super amazing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right, Song, obviously not the way you wanted to win the fight, but how are you feeling leading up to the finish? Because you look pretty good with your striking before they stopped the fight.
我们知道这场比赛不是你想要的结果，但是你对比赛快 当时第3回合快结束的时候的状态感觉怎样？因为看起来你好像就要终结他了。
Yeah, my plan. Oh, look here.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay. So my plan is finish him on fourth round or fifth round, but that was totally accident. I'm not so happy with that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for Henry.
Were you happy with your performance leading up to the stoppage?
就说你前3回合对自己表现满意吗？
Actually, no. I can do better, So I kick his leg, hit her, and his switch southpaw. But yeah, he did some good jobs.
You're a pretty mild person, like a nice person when it comes to building up your fights and stuff. With Cejudo, you did the whole thing yesterday with the fortune cookie and all that. Did that annoy you at all, or do you think that's just gamesmanship?
No, totally not. I like this guy. He's a good promoter. Making me easier. He promote the fight and do some things, make people watch the fight. Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Okay. And just last one for me. Dana just was in here before you and said that he doesn't want to do a rematch with you and Henry. With that said, is there someone else you'd like to fight after tonight's performance?
Yeah. So my goal is the world champion. So whatever you guys give me, I will. My goal is I want to fight the guy who rank above me. If not Henry, yeah, O'Malley. Give me O'Malley. I can fight anytime. Yeah.
Over here. You and I had spoken earlier in the week about how you felt that this was sort of maybe your final chance to prove that you can beat UFC champion level guys. Obviously, the one against Sandhagen and Petr Yan didn't go your way. Considering how the fight ended, do you feel like you proved that you can beat real world-class guys?
Yeah, I think I already in the top 5 of my level, But I just have another chance. Just give me another chance. I will beat these guys.
And you were beating him, obviously, up until the decision. Are you aware that had Henry stopped fighting after the eye poke, before the end of round 3, it would have actually been a no contest. So by going the full 3 rounds with you, it was actually Henry who took the fight to a decision. Do you
就说你懂吗？如果他当时直接就说我打不了了，就第3回合后半段他不打，就会是一场无结果的。但他当时选择了打下去，所以说裁判上来的时候，就比赛规则来说，就是看就前3个回合大家谁优势多。你知道这一点吗？
Sorry, I don't know that. I thought that was no contest. No contact. Yeah, I thought that. So that's why I feel so bad. I was like this.
Yeah, these things happen. Congratulations, though. You did win the fight.
Thank you.
Song. Can you just explain what that whole just sequence was like, waiting to see what would happen? The fans, at first they were excited, then they start booing, and I have to imagine it was very difficult to just stay focused for the full 5 minutes and more.
就说比赛当时停了嘛，等了5分钟，你的心理变化是怎么样的？一开始粉丝都还很期待，后来就开始boo了。
I want to continue. Definitely, I want to continue the fight because I'm used to it, the pace, and so I feel I can dominate him. So when I got eye poke, I feel like maybe he just take break 1 minute, he will, fight again. But I didn't expect he take 5 minutes that long.
So over here, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
In the 3rd round before the poke happened, it looked like you were talking to him. What did you say to him in the fight?
就说第3回合在插眼之前，你好像跟他在笼子里说了几句话，你还记得你跟他说的是什么吗？
Did I? What? Oh. Sorry, I forgot. But I knew what you're talking about. But I forgot what I say. Sorry.
I'm curious how much of your camp for this fight was wrestling based and wrestling defense too, because he didn't go for very many takedowns on you, but when he did, you had no issues with them at all.
You know, I've been in camp for 10 months, and since they gave me Umar, I train wrestling every day with my teammates, and I have a lot of good wrestlers in the team. So I knew he gonna like feint, you know, up and down, up and down. So that's why I changed my stance position. You know, that's he didn't feint me.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, guys.